basically.
Here we have the Cortes de Cima, the Incognito 05, Chamin 07, Chamin 08, and the red one, I think it's just the blend 07 on the end. We probably missed a few of the other ones because we got here a little bit late.
Where this one is starting from is the high and humid. This is Atlantic and this is mountainous. These are wines with more potential for aging. These are wines with higher acidity, and these are wines ready to drink. Very well, they're commercial, ready to drink. You can drink them in 5 years.
Hey, it's Andrew from Vineyard Vlog, and it is the end of day 2. The Vin Portugal tasting is well. Anyway, it's getting good and happy by now. And I'm here with Marcio Ferreira. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And actually, I'll shoot you over this way so you get a good background. But we just stepped outside to talk about the wines you guys are pouring tonight, and you know, it's the third time we've met now. And I love the wines, and you know, we know Cortes de Cima well. But I want you to talk about your wines, talk about the event, what it is like to be here, and promote Portugal.
Well, Andrew, first of all, thanks for taking the time to speak with us.
Of course.
For us, it's interesting to come here because Portugal being such a small country, being out here in the West Coast promoting Portuguese wines in California, it's something that it's new to us, And being a small wine country, this is what makes the difference, I think, in Portuguese wines. There has been a wine makeover in Portugal. There has been a shift from port wine to dry wines. There's a new wave of winemakers. There's a wide range of grape varieties that Portugal has.
How many varieties?
We always say about 250. There's way more than that, first of all.
Right.
But it doesn't really matter.
Right.
There's a couple of there's about 10 or 15 that we should focus on to market those wines, because there's no way you can market 250 grapes.
Sure.
There is way too many. So, what is the current state of Portuguese wines? In the global marketplace, in the United States, that's the most interesting. We just passed South Africa we are now in the number 9 position.
Congratulations.
Exporting to the States, it's a big achievement for us.
Yeah.
Of course, we want to do more. Portuguese wines have something to say, especially in the new wine, value wines, because Portuguese wines don't quite have the brand yet, and that usually means that the producers have to lower their price to get into the market.
Sure.
So what the consumer gets a very good product for a very decent price.
Right.
So usually the value for money of a Portuguese wine is our most interesting thing, and it's the advantage of Portuguese wines. Another great thing about Portuguese wines is that they are food-friendly wines.
Yeah.
So we have a wide range of grape varieties, like I said, and those grape varieties can match very well with the global cuisine.
Yeah. Sure. So then, I mean, and as far as from a social networking perspective, I just noticed a lot of activity from Portugal, more so than, let's say, Spain or, or even Italy, but Portugal, I can tell, is being active. I know you've done shows. I've been to your events, and this is another great one. You joined the Bloggers Conference, sponsored, and are showing here. So, what is there? Is there not an objective, but is there a statement of like, we're Portugal? I mean, what would you have to say?
This is again. I think it all starts from people. People make all the difference, no matter what you're doing. Fortunately enough, Wines of Portugal and Vini Portugal, we have our team is very young.
Yeah.
And we are very, market-oriented. We know what's going on with the internet. We know what's going on with the bloggers, with the social media, networking, and we are trying to get our hands on that.
Well, it's apparent.
In a very honest way, and just try to follow the market.
Yeah.
while I think other countries have a more established market already and they don't need it, or they
Yeah.
see it as a more residual market. So for us, every opportunity, we need to capitalize,
Yeah.
and we have identified the internet and the bloggers as a very important segment for us, and we are trying to capitalize on it.
Well, it's clear. And then you mentioned a movement of young people. I remember being at the Vin Portugal
Yeah.
tasting in Jersey City, and there was a whole discussion about the young winemakers, and I think that's something that the U.S. is not really catching on to. But I like to hear it because I think it's important. What's the next wave?
The thing about Portugal is that Portugal is an old world winemaking country. We have been making wines for 3,000 years. The Romans were there, blah blah blah, the whole story. The interesting thing now is that there is a new wave of winemakers traveling the world, going to California to study wine, going to Australia to study wine, going to France, going to Italy as well, going to Argentina, going to Chile to study wine, and they are coming to Portugal and they're experimenting with with the grape varieties that we have, but making different wines and with grapes that nobody would invest in.
Sure.
And that is turning out to give amazing wines. So there's this all new range of tastes and flavors and profiles of wines from Portugal that is a whole universe that people are just saying, wow, these wines are great. We had these grapes, but we didn't know these wines could be so good.
Yeah.
That is, I think, something that is worth raising your voice and shouting about, and
Of course.
and put it on the marketplace. And that's what's happening with Portugal. Very honest, very good pricing.
Let the wine speak.
Let the wine speak. And the good thing about Portugal is that we are trying to keep our identity.
Yeah.
We have to emphasize it and
Brilliant.
underline.
Brilliant.
We are keeping our identity. We're not doing Cabernet. We're not doing Syrah. We're not doing Merlot.
Yeah.
We are doing Portuguese grape varieties that are different.
Yeah.
And let the wine speak for themselves.
Good.
Like you said.
Well, and then to wrap up, because I could keep asking questions for a long time, but the one thing is to the average consumer out there that might not have a great wine shop, liquor store in their area. I mean, is there any good way to start to understand Portuguese wines, to research them, or find them? I mean, what's
Sure. I mean, still, Portuguese wines are still sold mostly in the Portuguese ethnic market in the United States. We sell more wine in New Jersey than any state else, and Massachusetts, around Boston, as well, because those are the strongest ethnic markets. But you find Portuguese wine now consistently on the East Coast and on the West Coast, meaning New York, New Jersey, Florida, Boston, Washington, Pennsylvania, San Francisco, Oregon, Seattle even.
Yeah.
So there's a good sample of Portuguese wines.
Sure. And then online, but because I mean, if just to get educated,
just to get educated, you should go to our website.
Okay, what is that?
It's www.viniportugal.pt, and we are making www.winesofportugal.com right now. It's going to be ready in the end of the year.
Perfect.
So it's a website that is going to service the market.
Nice.
And when you taste a Portuguese wine, you can buy a wine for $10, $12, up to $15, and compare it with wines from other countries on the same price range. Just compare it. I guess you'll be surprised.
Awesome. Well, Marcia, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Saúde, like you say in Portuguese.
Salud.
Saúde.
Salud.
Cheers.
I hope to see you over there.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Yep.